Well, hello and welcome to Peterborough. It is the press conference for Ritson against Vasquez, and we've got a packed undercard. But let's get straight to our guest who's jumping in just at the top here, Tony Bellew. Tony, great to see you. We've got news about a potential fight added to the bill. We'll get onto that later, but just how excited are you for this card that's been a long time in the making?
It's a great card. Vasquez and Ritson is one for us all to watch and admire. Vasquez, former IBF long-standing champion, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he has left. And can Ritson do it at that level? Because we just don't know yet. You know, he's shown glimpses of European, world level, but, you know, he's got to get past Vasquez to prove that he's at that level.
One thing that he said was that the delays in the two fights and the year that he's had out of the ring since the Robbie Davis Jr. win has given him time to grow into super lightweight and become an established 10-stone fighter. Do you believe in that, or is he just saying all the right things?
No, I do believe him to a certain extent. I think it takes time to build into a new weight division. He was absolutely butchering himself to get down to the old weight class, so it'll be interesting. But as I said before, you know, it's one thing saying, it's another thing doing it, Andy, and at this weight division, this is a good test for him.
We should just send our best wishes to Peter Fury. Obviously, the news yesterday was that he tested positive for COVID-19. Therefore, his fighter, Savannah Marshall, won't meet Hannah Rankin for the WBO title. That will get rescheduled, so our best wishes to everyone involved with that one. Working our way through the card, Thomas Patrick Ward. He takes on Thomas Asomba, which is a relatively late notice replacement, but people say that he's probably, and I said this to him yesterday, I mean it in a nice way, but the best fighter that nobody knows about. How highly do you rank him?
He's very good at what he does. You know, he's got a good record now that stands him in good stead. He's got quite a bit of experience, so let's see what he's got. You know, this is a good fight on paper, and yes, it is a bit late notice, but when an opportunity arises and it comes in front of you, you've got to take it with both hands. This is a perfect platform to shine. So go out there Saturday night and steal the headlines for yourself. That's the best advice I could give any fighter, you know, that's taking part in this card.
Joe Laws is fighting Rylan Charlton, and everybody's saying that could be the fight now that steals the card. You saw Joe Laws in the gym earlier. Are you a Joe Laws fan?
Listen, I'm a fan of anyone who sells that many tickets. But listen, he can fight. That's the most important thing here. Joe Laws can definitely fight. So it's a step up for him. He's got it all to prove, but he's confident. He looked really sharp in the gym before when I watched him go through his little routine. I said to him, don't waste any unneeded energy that you need to waste here. Save it. You're not going to get any fitter now. You know, you look in great shape, but it's easier said than done. I understand what it's like. You're in this atmosphere, you're in this environment, your opponents around, you're seeing them, you're seeing the opponent's team, and you're on edge. You know, he's probably close to the weight. So there's so many factors playing a part here that he's burning up nervous energy. You do not want to do that. You want to relax as much as possible on these final few days, because the rest and recovery is as important as the 8 to 10 weeks he's put in. So let's see what he's got, but I expect him to come through, to be honest, as I say, and it's another big name for the North East to keep their eyes out for.
Press is going to get underway with Ellie Scotney and Beck Connolly. Ellie's making her pro debut, so we've got that to look forward to on Saturday night. And a real interesting fight on the card. Kez Ashfaq and Mark Leach, final eliminator for the British Super Bantamweight title. Kez said to us yesterday, it's almost like his career of two halves. The first bit was the apprenticeship and the learning curve from the amateurs to the pros, where we all expect world-class amateurs to just hit the ground running. It hasn't really been the case, but in his last three performances, he's really showed how good he could be. Mark Leach obviously comes with good amateur experience as well, from a good gym there with Nigel Travis, and he's game as well, and says that he's coming to win.
The thing with Kez Ashfaq is, you know, when you're moving camps and stables, that it can unsettle a fighter, you know, from time to time. And he was with Kelvin Travis, who was a brilliant, fantastic coach. Now he's moved on to the new guy. Let's just see how he settles into this fight, because this is his first real test, in my opinion. You know, he's got better and better as his career's gone on, which is the best way to do it. But we need to have that explosive performance. We want a signature performance from. We want to see the best of Kez Ashfaq, and this is an opportunity once again, as I've said before, for him to show that and to showcase what his skills are in going into this fight.
So you've become matchmaker overnight, you and Eddie, exchanging tweets. So subject to board approval, there's going to be an extra fight on this card. Just tell us about that. Kane Baker and one of your proteges.
And Meshach Spear, and Frank Smith has just labelled him Shakespeare, which is absolutely fantastic.
And no one can believe that you hadn't used that joke before.
It's not even a joke, mate. It's embarrassingly poor from Frank. I expected much better from a man with his fantastic brain power. But we will just stick with Meshach Spear for me. That'll do very well. He's someone who can punch, a young man, a father of 5. So he's out with a point to prove. Could not possibly get an opportunity anywhere in the country. And me and my mouth have got him one. So he just has to go in there and show everyone who Mishak Spear is. As I say, Andy, he's someone who's been... This is the hardest climate boxing's ever known. This is the toughest period this sport has ever seen. And no one can get out. So when I got the call yesterday saying, you know, Peter Fury's tested positive and Savannah Marshall was out, I just thought straight away, which fighter can I get out? It was Luke Willis or it was Mishak Spear. Kane Baker didn't want no part of Luke Willis, but he said, you know what, I'll teach you, your young pup, Mishak Spear, a lesson. So that's where it led to, and you know, a few tweets later and we've got a fight.
Yeah, so we've got a little bit of water to go under the bridge just yet. Obviously, they've got to both survive their quarantine and COVID negative tests, and obviously subject to board approval and the weight, but fingers crossed that one gets over the line. Before I let you go, I think we've got about 1 minute before the presser starts. We are very much in the build-up to Alexander Usyk against Derek Chisora. Am I right in saying that you're not part of the camp? That sort of makes it sound like you're a sparring partner, but you are helping Derek out in his preparation?
He's my friend. He's like a member of my family, Derek Chisora, so I'm backing him and I'm there for him, whatever he needs me, whatever he wants. I will be there, but believe you me, there's nothing I can do for him on October the 31st that you know, he's going to have to do it all himself. And believe you me, he has it all to do. This is the most avoided fighter probably in the whole world, and just an amazing fighter. But if anyone can do it, when the back's against the wall and they're writ off by everyone, Derek Chisora finds a way. So I'm hoping that big right hand lands and he gets the job done. But believe you me, mate, this is a hard one. It's very, very tough.
I'm going to cut you off, obviously, mid-sentence, but while we're just waiting for both fighters to make their way to the stage, have you seen any of what's been going on social media with Derek's preparation?
Derek! Alexander! It's crazy, mate, but it's very entertaining. The two lunatics are made for each other, in my opinion. As I've put on social media a few times, you maniacs should get an apartment together and just move in after you've knocked 10 bells out of each other on the 31st of October. I really like Alexander Usyk. He's the only person I've punched in the face and truly like. And Bellew is me close friend. So just let's play. They could both come out safe and it's a great fight.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Darren, as always, and good to be live on the Sky Sports streams. It's great to be here in Peterborough ahead of another huge night of boxing. Obviously, challenging times right now. Unfortunately, we had the news yesterday of Savannah Marshall having to pull out due to Peter Fury contracting coronavirus. We wish him the best. Hopefully, get that fight on as soon as possible. But a huge show live on Sky Sports, DAZN, and so many great fights to look forward to. Obviously, a couple of weeks ago, we had the return of Joshua Buatsi, one of the UK's brightest stars, with a big win. Chantel Cameron becoming the newest world champion from the UK, female world champion from the UK. And it seems apt to start with another great fight, a debutant here in Ellie Scotney against Beck Connolly. Beck, we'll start with you. Big fight Saturday night. How are you feeling ahead of it?
Yeah, it's quite exciting, isn't it? Like, didn't think with all this COVID stuff this year that we'd get to box this year at all, so...
And obviously, you just joined a new team, new management team, training team. How have you found that recently? Big change for you?
Massive change, because obviously I've been with Paddy for the best part of 10 years. So I'm with Mike in Malmesbury now, new management as well in Siesta. So, yeah. Well, we did sit down and have the conversation. It was like small hall boxing is not coming back for a long... Well, I can't see it coming back for a long while with this COVID stuff. So it's time to do the big shows or not at all.
And obviously, Ellie's debut on Saturday, you've had a lot of experience, fought like Harper, Jonas. How do you think that will help you on Saturday night? Do you think this is early for Ellie, you know, a tough fight for her to take as her first fight? And do you think you're going to go in there with that experience and, you know, will aid you in there?
Experience is only any good if you use it, and I'm absolutely going to use it. But having said that, it's not your traditional debutee, and I think people in boxing know that already. Like, Ellie's got a lot of accolades behind her.
And Ellie, obviously, debut Saturday night. I heard a couple of weeks ago you just quit your job, so you're full on now with boxing, obviously training with Adam Booth and the team down there. How are you feeling? How are you finding it? Learnt a lot being in the same camp as the likes of Michael Conlon, Josh Kelly, etc.
Yeah, I'm just grateful, you know, to be given this opportunity in the circumstances and to be around those people in the gym. I'm learning outside of boxing. and I'm just thankful and just, trying to be a sponge for everything in that gym.
And obviously there was the potential for you to go to, you were looking at possibly the Olympics, made the decision to turn pro. What made that decision for you?
Yeah, do you know what? In hindsight, it looked like a tough decision, but I've never looked back once. And as a character and my boxing, it just wasn't settling well up there, and I just didn't love boxing like I used to. And as soon as I made the decision, I fell in love with it again.
And how do you see it going Saturday night? You got a prediction for the first fight?
A win, and just, get my journey started.
We got something a bit different because I'm not quite up to the skills of Eddie Hearn. We thought we'd get some questions from the fans as well. So we got a question from Julie Hunter from our YouTube, Matchroom Boxing YouTube. She said, women's boxing is booming at the minute. How active do you want to be over the next 12 months?
So long, as soon as I box Saturday, I'd like to go out the next week, do you know what I mean? So, it's a great time to be involved in women's boxing. As soon as I get started, I want to keep going.
And obviously, Beck, as we say, a huge time for female boxing. You've got the likes of Katie Taylor, who recently just defended her undisputed titles, fights again November 14th. Tasha Jonas, Terry Harper, great fight there. Terry Harper returns. Great time for women's boxing. Obviously, a big win here for you could mean a lot for your career and some big fights down in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And inactivity as a boxer is like the killer. It's what kills your spirit inside. You want to be busy and you want to be out there. And I think that's why we all were so upset this year, because March time, just sold all my tickets, ready to fight, and boom, done. No money, no fight, no nothing. So this is a great platform to be on. And, I'm just really grateful that it's happening.
Good. And finally, you're obviously supposed to make your debut back in March. Do you feel these extra, obviously been difficult times, but these extra 6 months have helped you, and you've learnt a lot more in that period, and it's aided, for your debut now. You've learnt a lot in the fight, ahead of the fight.
Yeah, massively. I learnt a lot about DIY too, so I got that in my little banner now. So, 6 months is just how it was written. It's the way it's meant to be, and I just can't wait to get to work now.
Perfect, look forward to it. We're going to do a quick head-to-head, and then we'll throw back to the guys on the YouTube and the Sky Sports stream.
Okay, so Ellie Scotney is going to join us live on the stream. Just on that black line there's fine, Ellie, thank you. You're ticking them off one by one. You had your first media day yesterday. You've just completed your first professional press conference. It doesn't quite work like that, but first fight week press conference. How are you feeling now? Just the countdown's on, I presume?
Yeah, 2 more sleeps and, it's time to go. So this bit's done now, just weigh in, and Saturday, it's coming quick.
You hinted about it on stage there. It's the waiting that kills you, I suppose, and you have been waiting a very, very, very long time. How are the nerves deep down inside?
Do you know what? At the minute, it's just calm and collective, and it's excitement, but obviously when Saturday comes along, the nerves are going to come, and I feel like that's what's going to keep me sharp, and I'm looking forward to it.
Is this an early statement of your ambition and your intentions? Beck Connolly is a well-established, experienced fighter. There were easier routes to go on your professional debut. I think we have this sort of attitude that your debut can be a bit of a gimme. You could have gone an easier route. Does this sort of show how quickly you want to be moved?
Yeah, I want to achieve big things in boxing, and it's just I want to start from the get-go and just go from there. So definitely. I feel excited to get going on Saturday now.
So excitement. What do you think will be going through your mind at the top of the ramp when you hear the MC call your name? And I suppose, how long have you sort of dreamt of that moment?
Do you know what? It's been a long time. Even since a kid, my ambition's always been to go pro. So it's been a long time coming, and it's going to be sweet.
I know how desperate you would have liked to have had fans here. Have you probably won't get a chance to speak to you after the weigh-in. Have you got a final message for everyone that's going to be watching on Saturday night, all your supporters?
Yeah, do you know what? I'm just thankful. They've done a lot for me, especially my family. So hopefully I put on a good show. Do business.
Wish you all the best and go well. Nice one. Okay, so we're underway. That was the first of our press conferences. So obviously under the sort of new way that we work, the stage has been cleared, and we're just waiting for our next fighters to work their way in. Just off camera I can see Hannah Rankin is being interviewed by Matchroom on their stream, so your heart really does go out for her. If you haven't heard the news and you haven't been watching, Hannah Rankin will not challenge for the WBO World Middleweight title against Savannah Marshall. Peter Fury, Savannah Marshall's coach, tested positive for COVID-19, so that fight is off under British Border Control rules. We wish them all the best, but the rest of the card is still on. So Lewis Ritson against Miguel Vazquez, that will be the top of the bill. That will be our last fight on the press conference stage, I should say. Just while we're waiting for the next fighters to join us, feel free to send in any questions and we'll try and answer them as we go. I can see Thomas Asomba is just making his way in. He will be boxing Thomas Patrick Ward. These two know each other very, very well. Obviously, when Thomas Asomba was based in Sunderland after the Olympics, he did a lot of sparring with Thomas Patrick Ward. The mutual link there was Phil Jeffries. So I asked them both yesterday. It wouldn't go as far as saying that they're friends, but they know each other very, very well, and that will either be an advantage or a disadvantage when we get to that stage. So bear with us. The fighters are just off camera, just about to make their way onto the stage. Firstly, here comes Thomas Asomba. Very much a bit of a bogeyman. You see him on a card and you always think whoever he's boxing is going to have a tough night. Thomas Patrick Ward, I said it to Tony Bellew earlier, the best fighter that you don't know about, and I know that sounds quite insulting, but he's itching to get going for a world title fight. He says he's ready for a world title fight, and he's very, very confident that he beats any of the world champions in this weight division. He just needs his opportunity, but that all goes up in smoke if he doesn't get past Thomas Asomba on Saturday. Thomas is 32 years old. He's now based out of Wolverhampton, linked up with Errol Johnson and his camp. Thomas Patrick Ward, the younger of the two men, 26 years old, 29 fights, 29 wins, 183 rounds. So he's got the experience, just needs the step up. He was originally supposed to beat Jose Martin Estrada Garcia, who's at number 14 with the WBO. That fell out of bed a couple of weeks ago, so Thomas Asomba steps in at late notice.
Good to hear from Hannah there as well. You know, as you know, we're going to work hard to get that fight on as soon as possible for both fighters. Now, as you say, big fight coming up next between Thomas Patrick Ward and Thomas Asomba. Obviously, very late notice switch in this card, but Thomas, you had a fight around 3 weeks ago, so you know you stayed fit, stayed active. Do you feel that, you know, especially within a period where fighters haven't really had the opportunity to have multiple fights, be ready, do you feel that that will help you on Saturday night ahead of a big fight against Thomas Ward?
Yeah, first of all, I want to say thank you for the opportunity. I thought last month that I think their camp going to help me for this fight. Even I didn't expect to fight very soon, and the notice they gave me was very short, but I believe that the camp I done on the last fight is going to help me for this fight.
And obviously, I think you sparred with Thomas Patrick Ward a few times. Do you feel that that will help you with the fight on Saturday? You obviously know about him, you know the way he fights. So do you feel that will help you in the fight?
Yeah, that is quite long. It's quite very long because as when I sparred him, I think that is years ago now. And everyone changed. Believe that. But I know that I spar him. I know how to fight, and I think I'm going to find a solution when we're going to start the fight.
And before your fight with Edwards, who is also marked to be a future star, future world champion, you'd had 2 big wins. Do you feel like you're in the prime of your career now, and a win on Saturday night will just take you off from there?
To be honest, for me, every fight is important for me. Every fight doesn't matter who you are. Just try to win, try to be in my record. And the opportunity I have to fight Tommy is a big opportunity, and by the grace of God, I know I have to take it.
Thanks, Thomas. And back over to Thomas now. Obviously, late change of opponent for you on Saturday night. How do you think that will affect you? You've been training for a long time. Again, you were supposed to box on the April Fool's show. Unfortunately, that got delayed and, back out now. How do you think that change will affect you? Or are you ready to go?
No, I'm ready to go. Obviously, it was a change of opponents, but, our training regime doesn't change at all. It doesn't matter who we're fighting. We train hard, 100%, ready and focused. I'm ready to go on Saturday night.
And obviously 29-0 now, so you're not far away from potential world title opportunities. You've worked a long time to get to this point. This could be a stumbling block ahead of those big fights. So there's a lot of pressure on your back here to get the win against Thomas.
Yeah, no, definitely. Listen, every fight's got to be won. It doesn't matter what the calibre of the fight is. Every fight's got to be won. For me, I was supposed to fight Garcia, who was ranked in the WBO, and that would have pushed me on to get me a world title shot. But we're still pushing for them world titles. I believe I'm ready to fight any of the world champions. I believe I'll beat any of them. So I'm ready to take on the full division. But listen, we've got a fight on our hands on Saturday night against Thomas. I'm looking forward to it.
I believe during lockdown you helped raise some money for the NHS. Can you tell us something a bit more about that?
Yeah, so obviously when the fight got cancelled in April, I got involved in my local community and my local charities and food banks and stuff, and then we started raising money for them and also for the NHS. Obviously everything they were doing was very good. So while the time I had out the gym, I wanted to do something back for the community and just raise a bit of money just to say thanks.
Great stuff. We got a question here from the Matchroom Boxing Twitter. It's from Elliot Smith. He asked you, Tommy, a win Saturday will take you to 30-0. Surely a world title shot is in 2021. That must be your goal for the new year.
That's definitely my goal, yeah. Just I'm working with MTK and Matchroom and Eddie now, so hopefully they can come together and get some big fights made.
And how do you see it go? What's your prediction for Saturday night? How do you see it going?
I'll win Saturday night.
Thomas?
I'm going to be the winner.
Good stuff. Looking forward to it. That's our second fight on the card, all live on Sky Sports, obviously, and DAZN in the US. We're going to break now for a head-to-head and then obviously back to the Sky Sports and Matchroom Boxing streams for a quick interview with these two guys.
So Thomas Patrick Ward's going to join us live on our stream. Thomas, just on that black line of carpet there, that's brilliant. We are live, I have to remind everyone. Great to see you. First thing that you noticed there at the head-to-head with you and Thomas Asomba is you're going to have a substantial height and reach advantage. How do you plan to use that? I don't want you to give your game plan away, and especially because you know Thomas Asomba very, very well, but how do you plan on approaching this fight?
Me and Thomas done plenty of rounds of sparring, but that's many years ago. From then now I've developed. I'm a lot better fighter than what I was, and like I said, I'm ready for the world champions now. Thomas fighter is a good fighter, but he's a weight class below. I just don't think he's on my level on Saturday night, and I think I'll show that.
How short-lived was the disappointment of your original opponent, Jose Martin Estrada Garcia? He tested positive before he left Mexico for COVID-19, so I'm sure you would have worked all the way through lockdown, preparing for this night, and then you find out that your original opponent isn't here. How do you put that, or how have you managed to put that disappointment behind you and keep your eye on the long-term prize, which is to stay winning and get a world title shot in 2021?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, when I got the news that happened, I thought, I was off the bill. I thought the show was cancelled, but thankfully MTK and Matchroom and they got together and they got an opponent to change. So, for that there, it was a brighter side for me. I love fighting. I like the box. So any opportunity I get, I can box. I'm just thankful I'm still fighting on Saturday night.
Got a very high ranking with the WBO. You're at number 3. Obviously, a fight against Garcia would have probably pushed you further forward. What do you need to do now, do you think? You will have had conversations with your team. What is your route, the quickest route, most direct route to a world title in your eyes?
The world belts is changing hands all the time, and it all depends on what the champion's doing and who they're fighting. It's all tied up. So, I just leave it to my team. I believe that they're going to sort it out and they'll get me the big fights that I want, and the world titles will come in 2021, but no slip-ups on Saturday night. Go out there, stay focused, get the win and move on.
One of the things that is on your side is you're still very, very young in this game. You've been a pro a long time, you've got the experience under your belt, but you're only 26, so if there was someone in your position, exactly the same position, that was watching the clock and getting older, I think they would perhaps be a bit more panicked. Are you reassured that when the time's right, you're not battling the body clock, as it were?
No, definitely. I think, with me, I live the life. I've got a lot of years left in this game. I'm only 26 now, so I believe when the time comes, I'll be more than ready, and I believe when I win the world title, I'll reign supreme for a long time.
You know, you've already gone over to America. You know, you're not scared of travelling. If you have to go over to win a world title, you will. Just a view on the wider picture of North East boxing. You're a massive part of that at the moment. I'm going to get myself in trouble here. I'm sure I'm going to miss someone out, but yourself, Lewis Ritson, Savannah Marshall, who doesn't have a chance on this card. Help me out, there's some more. Joe Laws, he's right behind me, which was an awkward moment there. Just how positive is the outlook in the North East for the boxing scene at the moment, and something that you're very much the main man and part of?
The boxing scene in the North East is absolutely fantastic at the minute. We've got loads of good fighters here at the minute, and still loads coming through, and a lot wanting to turn pro. So I believe the North East scene will keep getting better and booming, and like I said, it's just getting the opportunities and getting the fights. They're starting to come now, so I believe you see a lot of good fighters coming from there.
Just finally on Saturday, do you believe if you put it all together and show what you've been working on in the gym that you can stop Thomas Asomba, who's notably a very durable opponent?
He's very durable and tough, and like I said, he could just come and win. But yeah, I believe too big, too strong, too good, and Saturday night I'll get him there.
And then 2021
world titles. World title fights. I'm open to any of them. Whenever they want to fight, I'm here and ready. Just give us a call.
Nice one. Go well.
Thank you very much.
No one. Okay, so that was Thomas Patrick Ward, and I really do think that he's going to be one to watch, not just on Saturday night, but certainly 2021, as if he can continue his winning streak, a world title must be very, very close. So I'm going to wrap this up because I'm sure we won't be long, and we don't want to miss any of this. Rylan Charlton and Joe Laws, who says he's the new Dave Allen of British boxing. I'm not sure you can have a new Dave Allen, but I don't think this one is going to be boring. Just a little bit of background on these two. They're rooming next to each other, which I'm assured was a total accident. Joe has spent his time watching The Chase, which he again assures me was a very good episode, and him and Rylan bumped into each other, opening their doors to get their food which was being served. I don't think there's any real bad blood in this one, but I'll be made to look pretty silly if this one all boils over. So obviously Joe is linked up with a new trainer in a new gym over in Lanzarote. He's 26, 9 fights, 9 wins, and he'll be hoping to extend that against Rylan Charlton. But as we've already seen throughout fight camp and the fights we've had, beware of the underdog and the away fighter. Rylan's coming here to win, and he makes no secret of telling everybody that will listen.
Thanks, Chris. Good to have Darren Barker as well, and Tony Bellew. We couldn't quite get rid of Darren Barker, so we had to bring Tony in as well as an extra guest. Looking forward to this fight, a huge fight for Joe Laws on Saturday night against Rylan Charlton. You know, both guys coming to win. Joe Laws, huge backing, huge support up in Newcastle. Rylan, we'll start with you. You know, I'm sure you know a lot about Joe from rooming next door to him. Unfortunately, at this show, we've heard your rooms are right next door to each other. But how are you feeling ahead of Saturday night? And obviously, do you feel the pressure's more on Joe to deliver than, you know, obviously you're going to go in there and deliver yourself, but do you feel the pressure from the fans will be more on Joe?
Yeah, for sure. I don't feel like there's much pressure on me, to be honest. I'm just getting there and doing my job. But yeah, Joe's used to having his crowd behind him and stuff, and there's going to be no crowd there at the minute. So yeah, I feel like all pressure's on Joe, to be honest.
You've obviously built up on the small hall scene as well. You know, did you think that this opportunity would land for you? You know, this is a big fight. Beat Joe Laws. He talks a lot. He's all over the place. Got a lot of big fan base. You can take a big fan base from him here as well. So did you think a shot like this would land? And do you feel like this is a big opportunity?
This is what we've been waiting for like the whole time. Like, we've been training hard, and due to there's no crowds and stuff like that, they want to see proper fights on TV now. So yeah, this is what we've been waiting for, and we're just waiting for the call as soon as it was there. It's only a 2 weeks notice, but we snapped it up.
And you've obviously all across, as and where you could, you've been training all throughout the lockdown period, kept fit and ready to go on Saturday.
Yeah, kept fit all throughout lockdown. And yeah, just this is the call we've been waiting for. And as soon as it came, we did snap it up, and that was that. Now here we are.
And Joe, huge fight for you Saturday night and a massive win. It could be a massive win for you. Do you feel, you're used to having 1,000+ fans that you sell tickets to personally yourself. How do you think that will affect you not having them there? Do you think that will...
Listen, people think I'm just this brawler. I'm just this, I've been fighting since I was 14. I've had a good amateur pedigree. I don't care if the crowd there in the car park. I honestly couldn't give a monkeys. Come Saturday, I'm getting the win, and that's that.
New training team as well. I think you were training in Lanzarote. You've moved across. How has that changed for you, obviously not being in your hometown?
Mint, I wanted to put myself outside my comfort zone of just training, back department. The gym was 30-degree heat every day. It makes you mentally tough, mentally hard. I've had some good round sparring and I'm ready for war.
And obviously you make a lot of noise on social media. You've got, as I said before, a huge fan base, people who attend. Do you feel like there's a bit of a target on your back because of, the big show you create?
I've got a massive target on my back. I'm sick of going on my social media and people are calling us out or people saying I'm shit or I'm this, I'm that, you know what I mean? I'm just doing my thing, and if they want to speak bad about us, let them be, but I'm a sound kid, but when I get in the ring, I'm a fighter, and come Saturday, I'm fighting.
Rylan, do you think in your mind that with Joe not having the crowd that he used to, that support, I'm sure you've seen it on TV, do you think that will make a difference to how he fights on Saturday?
Yeah, for sure. I think we'll see the best Joe Laws Saturday night, 100%. Like I just said, crowd or not, he's a fighter, so it's going to be a hell of a war, yeah.
Joe, we've got a question here from Robert Pilkington on our YouTube. He said, your old pal Devin Haney has a world title shot coming up. I'm interested to know, do you actually rate him or is it all just an act?
The proof's in the pudding, isn't it? He's not there where he is for being garbage. But nah, he's good. He's world level. He's young. He's come for the ranks and he's beaten everyone who's put in front of him. So he's a good kid.
Rylan, I'll ask you first. How do you see it going on Saturday night? How's the win come for you?
I don't know how it's going to come, but it's going to come. Simple as that.
Wrong answer.
Okay, what's your answer then?
I'm going to knock him out.
Anything back to you?
Not really, no. He's good at doing the talking. I'm good at doing the beating up, so we'll wait and see.
We'll see, won't we? We'll see.
Right, very excited for this one. A huge fight Saturday night. Maybe if it's such a cracker, we can do it in front of 10,000 people as well next time in Newcastle.
Yep.
Sounds good to me.
Perfect. Let's do a quick face-to-face and then go and do a couple of interviews. Just the cameras first, but going straight through. Face-to-face. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Joe, we are live on that stream, so if you can just stand on that black line in the carpet there. I realise that people can't see at home. There's more than one line on the carpet. I think that went pretty much how we thought it would go. No real bad blood, but if someone flicks your switches, you're going to oblige them. How do you see this fight going now? He's not in earshot. Do you think that this is going to be a stand and deliver toe-to-toe war, or are you bluffing everyone and you're going to go on the back foot and box?
No, listen, I respect all fighters, but once I step in that ring, it's a fighting sport. Why bullshit everyone's situation? He's training to beat me. He's training to knock me out, know what I mean? So when I get in the ring, it's personal. But until I fight him, I respect him. Yeah, he's a fighter. He's a human. He's a human being. I respect him, yes. But come Saturday, I'm showing him no respect whatsoever.
I do have to apologise for the swearing because we are live and I've got to try and... I know you're emotional and I'm sort of leading you down that path, but apologies for any of the language. You've got a new training set up and you've based yourself out in Lanzarote. What was the thinking behind that? Because obviously You are very proud of where you come from, and your fan base is at home. Why have you taken yourself away from all of that and presumably the distractions to go to Lanzarote?
I'm a product of where I've come from, which is Bellew, but sometimes it can be a bit too comfortable, like on the weekend, just nipping out, seeing my friends, doing this, doing that, and I'm at the stage in my career where fights are going to get hard, like Saturday, and I think Lanzarote touched out my comfort zone a bit. Like, I went there by myself with my bag for life and my gym bag. I walk in the first apartment I seen, I walk in the gym, and I've just thrived ever since. Like, I've been thriving over there. Like, I've just been training back at the apartment, training back at the apartment. I've came out for 2 weeks of quarantine, and I'm ready to go. I'm itching.
Can I just quiz you a little bit about what you said on stage there about the social media element of it, that you do flick on your social media, and I mean maybe because of the way that you are in terms of you're not shy in what you say, that it leaves you open to criticism from people. Is that the sort of thing that does bother you?
Listen, everybody who calls me out, if I was them, I would call me out as well, for the personality of a tin of beans. Like, boxing is an entertainment business. Who would want to watch someone who just stands there and doesn't talk and doesn't do nothing? At the end of the day, in amateurs, in sparring, in training, I'm a passionate kid. Win, lose, draw, I put everything into everything I do, know what I mean? And I think that's what people like to say is, if I box, if I fight, if I play Scrabble, I'm passionate about it and I want to win.
Just finally, before we let you go, because I think the next group of fighters are ready to come in, just your final prediction, how you see this fight going. Do you think this fight finishes inside the distance?
I'm going to flatten him. Like, I'm throwing with intent to hurt, and I'm winning. Simple as that, I'm winning. I've trained too hard to get beat.
Thank you very much, and go and enjoy The Chase or whatever other programmes are available on the Sky Sports platforms. See you later. Okay, Kez Ashfaq and Mark Leach are all ready to step in. I should just say apologies for any of the language there. It is fight week and people are making weight and they are obviously edgy, and one or two profanities did slip out there, but apologies if any offence was caused. Okay, so our next fight on the card, Kez Ashfaq and Mark Leach, final eliminator for the British Super Bantamweight title. Let's get back over to both fighters who are on stage with Frank Smith from Matchroom.
Thanks, guys. Huge fight Saturday night here for British title eliminator. Mark Leach, Kez Ashfaq. Really looking forward to this one. Mark, we'll start with you. Interesting plot with this fight, because obviously you train with a team that Kez used to train with. How do you think that's going to help you in the fight?
It's not going to be any different, you know. We've sparred each other over the years, so we know the fundamentals. But it's quite a while ago, so I'm just going to take every round as it comes and perform to the best I can, basically.
Moving up to Super Bantamweight for this fight, do you feel that extra bit of weight will help you in there?
Yeah, I feel a bit stronger, you know. It's the last 2 or 3 pounds everyone knows is always the hardest to make. I haven't had to do that this time, so I'm feeling fit, strong, yeah, so I can't wait now.
And win this fight, there's the opportunity for the British title fight. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot. Like I say, Jamie's my coach. He's had the British title and bringing it back to Salford where it belongs. You know, my weight or the weight above. I just need the opportunity to fight in the shows like this, and thank Kez and everyone else for accepting it. Yeah.
And Kez, obviously you've moved teams recently. Just moved over to Angel Fernandez. How's that helped you?
It's been amazing. You know, I feel like I'm coming on leaps and bounds with Angel and the team in Loughborough and Mikla, the second coach. So yeah, I'm looking forward to showing what I'm about Saturday night.
And again, same for you, British title opportunity after this fight. Excited for that? Obviously, what a lot of people dream to do in this sport.
Without a doubt, that's the next step. Get this fight out of the way Saturday, get a good win, God willing, in style, and we want to win that British title.
Obviously, you've linked up as well with 258 management, Anthony Joshua's management team. How do you think that will give you extra opportunities as well along the, you know, he's obviously got the likes of Joshua Boazzi, Lawrence Okoli, Sully Sissoko, and now you've joined the team as well. Excited for that?
Yeah, part of a fresh new team, management as well as coaching. I believe it's freshened me up in many ways, and I'm learning things that, you know, are going to show on Saturday. And like I say, I look forward to showing what the improvements, and the management team will drive me the right way now as well.
And you've obviously been looking for a big breakout fight. Do you feel that this is the fight for you to do that and show your quality and your skills?
whatever fight I was going to get was going to be that. Like I say, I'm learning a lot in the gym now. My improvements have been huge, and no matter if it was Mark Leach or anyone else, it was going to be a breakout fight.
We've got a question for you from Matchroom Twitter. John Dudley asks, how are the facilities in Loughborough University and how will they help you develop?
Facilities are unbelievable. You may or may not know, Loughborough University itself has been rated the best university in the world for the last 4 years. And that just shows itself how good it is in terms of sports. Facilities are unbelievable. We've got everything that we need. Psychologists, physiologists, S&C, nutrition. Whatever you need, we've got there. And yeah, it's a great step to be part of.
And Mark, how do you see it going Saturday night? How do you see the fight playing out?
It's going to be a bit cagey, because we're both pretty vicinity of each other, but I reckon I'm going to win on the points, yeah. You've got to be confident. I reckon I win.
Okay, sure, the same for you. You feel that you can go in there and do the job in style?
Doesn't matter to me how it goes, as long as I win, and God willing, that's the plan. I'm going to go in there and win.
Thanks very much, guys. Really looking forward to this one. Chief support just prior to our main event of Miguel Vazquez against Lewis Ritson. We're going to break head-to-head and interviews again. Thanks, guys.
Kez, we're live on the Sky Sports stream. Thanks very much for joining us. You said that it's going to be a chess match. He said that. Is this fair? So do you agree with that, first off then?
Listen, can't give no tactics away. You'll see on the night. Could be a chess match. Could be a different sort of fight. I'm just concentrating on myself. I'm not worried too much about what he's going to do. I've got to concentrate on what I'm going to do, and that's going to win me the fight.
Is it fair enough to say that this is the biggest and toughest test of your career to date?
Could be, potentially. Maybe in terms of records, and he's an awkward kid. He's an awkward and sharp kid. But I believe I'm going to go out there and I'm going to get the win in style, and I'm looking forward to showing that Saturday night.
We discussed this yesterday at the media day, that you're very much a firm believer that the better the quality of the opponent, the better the performance. That certainly stands true with the last three performances of your career. So with that in mind, Mark is the best opponent on paper. So should that be the best Kez Ashfaq on the night?
It will be the best. Maybe not because it's Mark, but because preparation's been amazing over at Loughborough University with Angel. I've been in camp for the last four months, give or take, and I'm improving leaps and bounds behind Angel. And yeah, like I said, I'm looking forward to showing that, and that's why it's going to be the best, because preparation's been unbelievable. So that's what I'm going to show.
Just to expand on that then with Angel Fernandez, obviously we know him very well. He's worked with a number of British boxers recently and Kazakh fighters as well. Is it about finding the best partnership, the best trainer that's going to bring the best out of you? You've been with some great trainers already. Why Angel, I suppose?
I just liked his philosophy. When we first met, before we even met, I was seeing him on social media with Sultan Zorbek, a Kazakh fighter. I liked what he was doing, and then when I spoke to him, I liked him even more. I liked the way he spoke, I liked the ideas he had. And as soon as we trained together, we gelled, and I thought, right, this is training for me. And he's got all the qualities that I need, in my opinion, to improve, and that's what we're doing, and that's why I feel like I'm improving so much now.
Brad Foster holds the British title at this weight. With the fact that this is a final eliminator, are you sort of pushing yourself towards the fact that you'll go the British title route?
Yeah, definitely. Like I say, win this fight, and I want that British title. I'm not worried about who it's going to be against. Brad Foster, even if he vacates and it's someone else, it's about the British title. It's not about who. It's about me winning that British title.
And how important is not just the result but the performance on Saturday? I know winning is number one, the most important thing, because if you don't win, that all goes away. But how important to you is it to put on a performance as well as that?
Vital, in my opinion, because like I say, I'm talking about all these. The camp's gone amazing. Got a new coach, new setup, new management team, and now's the time for me to put up a big performance, get the win in style, not just nick it, get it in style, and put on a huge performance.
Wish you all the best with it. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so just the main event to come. Thank you. Lewis Ritson making his way in, and Miguel Vazquez as well, who will have a translator with him. He does speak a limited amount of English, but I think for him, as much as us, they're going to do it through a translator today. Lewis twice had this date cancelled, and it feels like a lifetime ago that we went up to Newcastle for the original press conference, and really just to say that Lewis expressed his sort of gratitude for Miguel for sticking with it and staying COVID free and getting on the plane and getting here. It's not necessarily an easy journey, is it, from Mexico to get here, but we're relieved that everybody is here. And one thing that Lewis Ritson said yesterday was when this fight was first announced, there was sort of a negative backlash online about the quality of opponent, and now with the lockdown and the time that's passed, more people picking Vasquez than are picking Ritson, so he thinks that the lockdown has flipped it completely. We'll hear what both of them have got to say on that, and they're on stage with Frank Smith.
Can't wait for this one, the main event of the evening. Third time lucky. It was supposed to happen in April, then June. Finally now it takes place. Both guys here, both guys clear, and a huge fight, especially for Lewis Ritson's career. Miguel Vazquez is a real tough test for him, and we can't wait to see it. A big difference, a big change, no crowd there. We're used to seeing this crazy atmosphere in Newcastle. I'm sure we'll be back there as soon as we can, but you know the key was get the fight on for both guys. Miguel, we'll start with you. I think, as we said there, this fight has been, we've spoken about for the last 8 months. We were supposed to be doing this fight. Obviously, COVID's delayed that. You must know everything about Lewis Ritson. You feel ready for this fight more than ever.
Obviamente hemos tenido un retraso de 8 meses por el tema del COVID. Supongo que ya sabes absolutamente todo lo que tuvo con Lewis Ritson.
Sí, claro que sí, ya sabemos, hemos estado entrenando para esta pelea, para estar listos para pelear en esta función que para mí es una pelea muy importante y tendré enfrente a un peleador muy fuerte.
Yes, we've been training this for a long time. Obviously it got delayed when we've been ready for this fight for a long time, and I'm up against a really tough fighter in Lewis Ritson.
Miguel, obviously you have aspirations to go on and win another world title. How do you feel? This is obviously a big step now ahead of a huge fight against Lewis Ritson, number 2 ranked with the WBA. You can jump in here, steal his position. You know, is this it's probably the biggest moment in your career at this point?
Obviamente tras la posibilidad de tener una pelea tan grande, y sería un gran paso para ti, ¿no? Para volver a quizás tener un título mundial contra el número 2 del mundo en Lewis Ritson. Una gran oportunidad para ti, supongo.
Sí, claro que sí, es una oportunidad grande, bastante buena para mí. Sé que esta pelea pues no va a ser nada fácil. Sé que vamos a dar una muy buena pelea. Yo vengo confiado en mi preparación y vengo dispuesto a ganar.
Yes, it's a great opportunity for me. It's a really big fight for me, and it's not going to be an easy one at all, which is why I've been prepping as hard as I possibly can do for this.
And finally, what can the fans expect to see from Miguel Vazquez on Saturday night?
Y al final, ¿qué pueden esperar de ti, los fans de Miguel, el sábado por la noche?
Bueno, los fans pueden esperar a un Miguel Vazquez bien preparado, a un Miguel Vazquez que quiere volver a ser campeón del mundo. Esta es mi oportunidad para volver a estar en las grandes ligas y que el mundo sepa que Miguel Vazquez todavía está vigente.
When people come and see the fight, they can expect Miguel Vazquez that's prepared to go on to be world champion again. Miguel Vazquez that comes very prepared for this fight and ready to win.
Thank you, Miguel. Lewis, on to you. Obviously, we spoke there about this fight should have taken place in April, then June. You must know Miguel like the back of your hand now. Done a lot of studying on him, training for a long time, and ready more than ever, I'm sure.
Yeah, ready more than ever. I personally haven't watched much of Vasquez. I just leave that to my coach Neil. He comes up with a game plan, and then we'll bring our A game, and that'll be enough.
And obviously, as I say, you know, this is at a stage of your career where you're number 2 at the WBA. A big win here could step on and world title in the near future. Obviously, it looks like Taylor's going to be locked up. Taylor's going to be locked up with the Ramirez fight. So do you see maybe a fight with the likes of Prograis as the next step for you?
The next step's just trying to get past Vasquez. We're not looking at anyone else. He's our main focus on Saturday, and then if we can get past him, which we're confident we can, then we'll start mentioning them names.
You've been sparring with Josh Taylor in the build-up as well for this. Do you feel like you've learnt a lot in that process as well?
I've been sparring with a lot of good fighters in the lockdown, which has been good for us, and we'll just keep improving all the time. I think the lockdown's benefited us quite a bit, being able to go into the weight, and we're just expecting a good performance Saturday night.
And you probably have the best crowd, I think, in world boxing. You know, having travelled all around the world, seeing the arenas we go to, your crowd is like nothing I've ever seen. How do you think that's going to affect you, not having them behind you? Obviously, you'll be focused more than ever, I'm sure, on the fight itself with the noise not there. But how do you think you're going to find that?
No, like I say, it'll be weird with them not being there, but you know, I think it'll be a lot less pressure on me with them not there, and I think I'll put on an even better performance just behind closed doors with no pressure on my shoulders.
And Miguel's only been stopped twice in a 51 fight career. Do you feel making a statement, going out there, getting a stoppage win will be big for your career?
Yeah, very big, but we're not going to go out there looking for that. We're just going to see how the fight goes, and then once Neil tells me to step it up, that's what I'll do, and we'll see what happens on the fight night.
We've got a few questions from fans. So, firstly to Miguel, you boxed Canelo in your debut, and then 20 fights later. You know, how was that? I mean, there can't be many people who have done that. Did you learn a lot from those fights? And you know, it must have been a big experience looking back now.
Una pregunta que te han hecho es, primeramente, tu debut fue contra Canelo, después peleaste también a partir de 20 peleas. Supongo que habías aprendido mucho de las dos peleas y qué gran experiencia, supongo, ¿no?
Sí, fue una gran experiencia pelear contra Canelo y después pues Timothy Bradley y todas las peleas que tuve después de que recibí mi oportunidad de campeonato me han dado la gran experiencia para poder estar en donde estoy ahorita.
Yeah, I mean, all the fights that I've had have enabled me to get where I am now. It was a great experience fighting against Canelo, but all the people I faced during my period as world champion as well were important for my career.
Thank you. And Peter Squires on our Matchroom Boxing Twitter asked a question for you, Lewis. How do you think the lockdown has benefited you, giving time to work on things, or do you think in any way it's hindered you, or do you feel this has given you extra time to add to your skill set?
No, extra time. Neil's gym, where we trained on his own land, so we haven't had to not go to the gym or couldn't go, so we've been in there the full lockdown. The 2 fights have been cancelled, we've still been in the gym training hard, so you're going to see a lot better and a lot more polished Lewis Ritson come Saturday night.
Thanks very much, Lewis. Thanks, Miguel. A huge night comes Saturday night. As always, we have to say thank you to our broadcast partners, live and exclusive on Sky Sports, live and exclusive on DAZN in the United States, and also our sponsors, William Hill, Wow Hydrate, StubHub and JD Sports. We look forward to everyone tuning in, the weigh-in tomorrow as well on Matchroom Boxing YouTube, and looking forward to it. A great night of boxing and good to be back. Thanks very much. Quick head-to-heads and a couple of interviews. Thanks, guys. Lewis, just on that line there, mate, you can take the mask off for this. Yeah, we're live on our Sky Sports social media channels. Thank you very much for joining us. You've had lots of well wishes from all the Geordie fans on our Facebook, so I'm sure they're glad you're tuning in here. Very interesting there. That's the first time you've come face to face with him since the original press conference back in March. Any change in what you've seen from him?
Yeah, when I first seen him at the first press conference, I thought he looked massive, you know, but now he looks quite skinny, looks quite frail to be fair, but we'll see on Saturday night what he comes to bring, and we know that we'll bring our A game.
I think lockdown's had the opposite effect on the majority of the public. We're all bigger rather than looking thinner after lockdown. Just interesting to pick up on what you said there about the fans. The fans have always been like the 12th man in football for you, but if there was any criticism, it would be that sometimes you made fights more difficult because you would play to the fans, that you would want to entertain the fans. You strip all that back, this is lockdown boxing, there's no crowd, there's no atmosphere whatsoever. What difference do you think that's going to make to you mentally in the ring?
Yeah, look, I don't think there's going to be much pressure. There is pressure obviously to win because the big fights are just around the corner, but you know, maybe this time I'll be actually hear my coach shouting from the corner instead of all the crowd going mad. So just little things like that that'll benefit me on the fight night.
Also, I like what you said there about not watching too much of Miguel Vazquez. You leave that to your trainer, Neil Fannin. What has he told you about Vazquez, what you need to be careful of? Something that we picked up this week, we spoke to O'Hara Davies, who's fought Miguel Vazquez. He said he's got the best footwork of anyone I've shared the ring with. Has Neil Fannin expressed a similar sort of view?
Yeah, he's expressed a few things, the footwork, his left hand, obviously I've got a good jab, he's got a good jab, so it's going to be like a bit of a battle of the jabs early on. He said a few things, but you know, like Neil says, he trains well, but he doesn't sort of give a game plan. We just come with our A game and we'll know that'll be enough on the night.
Just finally about your preparation, we heard that you've been sparring the likes of Josh Taylor and things like that. What was it like sharing the ring with someone that many people view as Britain's pound-for-pound star, him or Tyson Fury, but Josh Taylor, we know that he's going to challenge for the undisputed titles. You can gauge where you are sparring someone like that. How close do you think you are to that sort of world level now?
Yeah, very, very close off spawn, but spawn, you know, it's totally different when you get in there and fight, so we can't really take much off spawn, but if you did off the spawn, we'd be very happy with where we are and where we could end up.
And is the long-term goal, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but get through this and world titles in 2021?
Yes, definitely, you know, get past this. Hopefully the lockdown eases down, we'll get back to Newcastle in front of a ram-packed crowd and some big fights to come.
Lewis, thanks very much for joining us. I'll let you crack on. Thank you.
Spot on, thank you.
Okay, so that brings us to the end of our stream of the press conference. So fingers crossed this all holds together and we'll have another fight to announce subject to board approval tomorrow. And join us across all of our channels, Facebook, Twitter and the website for the weigh-in here in Peterborough.